right, so welcome Sky. Thank you for joining us today. Really looking forward to hearing your journey and your career story. You've done some amazing kind of work and, created your own business. And, I was looking at your story and I'm quite excited by this because this is very different from so far everybody else that I've interviewed. So this is going to be a real good one. Also, you're not based in the UK. So this gives us a little bit of a difference from the usual kind of structure of school that we have here. So hopefully you're going to be able to inspire everybody with loads of information that they've not heard before. So,
cool. Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, that's lovely. So just really kind of quickly tell us, what is it you're doing right now? So what's your role and job right now?
Right now I'm working 100% online and I help people with social media business mindset. So being visible, getting out there, creating content. I have a signature course called Become a Master Content Creator, and it's all for social media. So sparking your inspiration to get out there and create more content. And I work one-on-one with people. So just releasing those blocks. Some people, they feel intimidated with the noise on social media. They feel like they want to be out there more and they want strategy, and I'm very strategic, and I have the 17 years building my own brands from scratch, so I just brought that over to the online world.
So that's brilliant. So I expect a lot of the students watching will kind of follow lots of people on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram and just kind of assume that these people are just kind of natural. But a lot of the big celebrities actually use people like you, don't they, to kind of build that confidence and know what to share on social media. Doing all these Facebook lives and YouTube videos, they're not always just as spontaneous as everybody thinks, are they?
Well, I think it's different personalities, right? Sometimes you might be the type of person that's really into it, like me. I'm naturally into it. So my fantasy is to have a really famous YouTube channel one day, kind of thing. And I don't mind oversharing. I don't mind sharing my story. I'm a very open person. And then there's other personalities that really want to take advantage of the opportunities online, and they're not as extroverted online, and they actually aren't even sure where to start, right? Because there's so many different pieces of the puzzle to form a personal brand and be visible and be the face of the brand. It can be intimidating for a lot of different people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things that I learned when I went sort of into my own business and started sort of using the online social media as part of my business was, you don't realize how complicated it can be. It's not just about hitting the live button, is it? It's about understanding algorithms and all sorts, which is
marketing and strategies to get people to stay connected with you. It's a whole thing, and it grows and grows, so it's always changing too, so you have to stay on it.
yeah. And that's what you do, which is amazing. But I mean, for my generation, when I was at school, Facebook didn't even exist yet. So certainly I wouldn't have been at school kind of thinking to myself, actually when I leave school, I want to be a social media brand expert, because social media wasn't even a word that existed. So what kind of journey got you to where you are right now?
Well, it's a very interesting journey. I'm doing something quite different than what I set out to do. So when I was a little girl, I always wanted to design clothing. And we didn't have Facebook and we didn't have all this stuff. So it was like, I'm going to be a fashion designer. And then I got older, had some children, and realized that I wanted to take advantage of my age, the time I had, and I started a clothing company from scratch, all on my own. And side note, I was always into art, always creative, and I got straight A's in art in high school, and my art teacher, expected me to go off to art college, but I had a young family and I was young, and I decided to go out and learn it on my own. So really hands-on, went into the factories, learned all about manufacturing and design and pattern making, and did the whole thing, made lots of mistakes. And then within a year, I had a little shop open. I opened up a little shop and I took a lot of risks. So, some people aren't risk takers. Obviously I was 25, 2 kids. I didn't care. I believed in my dream, and I opened up the shop and I started creating clothing, and I outsourced a lot of the sewing and manufacturing. And then I had 2 investors approach me within a year. So I had hit a trend of yoga wear at the time. It was about well, yeah, 16 or 17 years ago. So yoga was really hot. Lululemon was really hot. Everything was happening. I lived close to a city that manufactured athletic wear primarily. So it was timing as well. Two investors approached me, and I picked one, and I partnered up with, she became my best friend. So we ran the business for 6 years, grew the business for 6 years. We were on the Canadian shopping channel, and it became $1 million brand within about 4 years. So we opened up retail stores. We sold wholesale around the world. And then it happened so fast. I won't get into all the details, but I crashed, I burned, I let go of that business. Long story, that was about 10 years ago. And then I started, as soon as I left the business, within about 6 months, I started a new clothing company, and I decided to only market it on Facebook and through email marketing. I had this mental I had a vision that Facebook and the whole online world was going to take off. So I've been researching and learning about online marketing for 10 years and making sales of my products. So I did that online for 6 or 7 years, and it was directly selling to the customers, which I loved. I had all these amazing customers. And then I realized I was really into brand marketing, and I was really into the whole creating an image and creating the images that sell and all of that stuff. So I started getting people they would ask me, they would say, can I pay you to coach me? Can I pay you to do consulting and help me with my social media strategies? So then it was kind of like they told me what to do. And I was really into live streaming about 4 years ago. So I did over 400 live stream broadcasts just because I wanted to learn. And it was a new platform 4 years ago. Periscope was one of the first ones. And then I started to learn even more about the whole live streaming and marketing and branding, and personal branding started to become really hot. And then I realized I have the art background, so I can help people with their brand images if they want. I don't do a ton of that right now. I do more working one-on-one with clients and helping them become more visible and confident on social media. And yeah, that's, woo. Are you still there?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I ended up doing this, is I realized I can help inspire other primarily female entrepreneurs really get out there, tell their story, get into their branding and marketing. And I just love supporting other people, and it's so much more fun, and I'm just having a great time.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what I love about the story is that you're very different to the kind of traditional version of girls leaving school. You're quite open admitting, you're quite young, you had a young family, but you wanted a good career too. And you went on to do something amazing. And I'm quite sure there'll be hundreds of people Googling the kind of yoga stuff that you were selling and this multi-million kind of pounds business that you used to have, because that's kind of not really heard of, is it? That's your Kardashians life, isn't it? It's, and you're talking 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm talking, I started in 2002. I started the prototype, the sampling and the sketching in 2002, because I remember my son was only about 10 months old. And yeah, that's when the whole seed was sort of planted. And it's been an amazing experience to watch how everything has evolved and how quickly it's evolving online. It's been amazing.
And what's great is these these students that are leaving school, those that do kind of end up having young families at a young age, and they go down that road and they end up kind of feeling like there is nothing for them because they're 18, 19 and they've now got a baby.
There's so much for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, there's this stigma that comes with being a young parent, male or female, mum or dad, even the boys kind of, if they become a dad at a young age, they kind of get slapped with this sticker, don't they? That, you're going to be stuck in a warehouse or stuck working for a fast food chain. And, you're a really great example of, if you've got the drive and you've got the passion and you've got some of the kind of background or experience or, that want to do something, you can still turn your life into something amazing, which is why I think, I really wanted to be able to interview you for these, because that's a great example to set people that there is this life still for you.
Yes, and so much more now. The opportunities are incredible now. And I would keep in mind to look for something that inspires you, look for something that motivates you and you want to run out of bed and do it in the morning, or even if you have a part-time job or a job, to be able to do it at night because you love it. You know, so, like, I love reading about branding and marketing. I love listening to podcasts about, you know, I'm obsessed with it. So pick something you're really, really genuinely interested in, I think is a good.
Yeah, definitely. And that leads me perfectly into my kind of final part of this, is that, you know, what one thing would you say to the students watching that is a lesson that you've learned from your journey that they can kind of take away? And I think, like you're saying, about kind of finding that passion and doing something you really love.
Yeah, if you have the time, if you can, I would test out certain things, do as much as you can, go and work for someone even for 3 months in the same subject you think you're interested in. One thing I learned from the fashion design industry is it isn't as creative as I would have liked. So it was really easy for me to design beautiful things, but there was like 90% of it was marketing, branding, going to the factories, shipping, organizing, cutting, just stuff I wasn't really interested in. So I would recommend absolutely go try things out. Try as much as you can, and that thing that you get really excited about, pay attention to that.
Yeah, and that's huge, isn't it? Because quite often you can sit there and you can think, I want to do this, and then you get that job or you get that internship or apprenticeship and you start doing it, and within a few months you're thinking, this doesn't light me up like I thought it would, but actually when I'm doing this I really enjoy that, and all of a sudden you've got a completely different career path. But we get kind of sucked into this, well, I've gone to college for 2 years to study this, I need to be doing that job, and that's not the way, is it?
You can hit a wall. It can be very stressful. It can cause depression. It can cause confusion if you aren't right on track, right? Alignment is, you know, a lot of people use that word, but it's true. If you aren't aligned with what you're doing, you might be able to do it for a couple of years, and you might be great at it. You might be awesome, but one day you might feel kind of depleted. And yeah, I always like to inspire people to do things that light them up.
Yeah, definitely. And there's one of the things I like to sort of talk to people about is you can be great at something you hate. That doesn't mean
Totally.
you don't want to do that for the next 50 years.
Yeah. You can be I was really good at shipping. Like, did I like it? No.
Yeah. It's not going to be the next career path for you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story. And I'm quite sure there's going to be quite a few people kind of Googling who you are and what you've done in the past, because you've done some amazing stuff. But
yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to have meet you, and thank you so much for letting me share my story. And yeah, you can just Google my name and I'll come up in a few different ways.
Yeah, certainly with live streams, there'll be plenty of videos for them to watch.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much.
Yeah, thank you.